everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be my January TBR, basically the books that I'm hoping to read in January for the first month of the year. A pretty reasonable-ish list of books. I'm starting so many different reading challenges and, you know, gotta start on a good note. I am in the mood to read because December I didn't have much time because my schedule. I was uploading a lot of videos, so we're catching up in January. So the first book we shall read this month is actually the Patreon book club book that we chose, and it is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch, which is an adult fantasy book. I have heard so many great things about this one. This is the first book in a 7-book series. The first 3 are out. I'm going into it with normal expectations. I feel like sometimes I feel like books can't live up to all the hype, but I don't feel like I'm thinking I'm gonna absolutely adore it. Hopefully I do, though. I know that there's a lot of banter between the main characters, a great friendship. I believe this is a heist, but you know what? I don't even want to know, because the least I know, the better it will be. It's not small. I do feel like it's going to be part kind of my big book challenge here. It's over 500 pages, but I feel like it looks bigger than it is. I'm sure we will enjoy ourselves. I did say I was in the mood for fantasy, so that will be hopefully it for me. The one I'm currently reading right now, it's actually an ARC Advanced Reader copy that's coming out next month, beginning of the month. So, A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Neuvel, which I'm reading it in advance to let you know in my wrap-up if I think it's worth, you know, picking it up. This is a historical fiction / sci-fi. I read the Goodreads summary whenever I was talking about books that were coming out in 2021 that I wanted to read, and I had no idea what this meant, and I'm only 10% into it at this point, so really I don't know much more, but I'm still a little confused. The good news is it started a little dry, but I do think it's already starting to pick up, so hopefully. From what I understand, you're following a specific woman who is part of a long line of, I think, only women who are trying to influence the future, specifically the science one, like going into space, to try and save humanity from ourselves and climate change. And they are currently, the specific one is currently with her mom in Germany trying to influence the Second World War. So if you enjoyed World War, Hitler stuff, maybe. It's usually not my cup of tea, but I'm, again, hopeful that the whole science part is going to be it for me and hook me up. But yes, I'll let you know how it goes. Definitely follow me on Goodreads if you want to see it in advance. Otherwise, I will mention it in my wrap-up once I'm done with it. But yeah, I'm only 10% into it, so it's a little too early to really have an opinion. One book that I should get my hands on from the library is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, which is the first book in a fantasy series by her. I believe it's urban. I believe it's urban fantasy, which I don't read a lot of. Again, I don't know much more about it because I do prefer, again, going into it pretty blind, but I do have a couple of her books, which you can kind of see here. I've read the Broken Earth trilogy by her, and I did really enjoy it. Very unique. And so far, I've heard great things about this one. And it's technically part also of my Goodreads reading challenge. It did come out last year in the fantasy section. So I will read it, and whenever I do my award show, maybe it will be the winner for me. One of my non-official goals this year is to try and continue and finish more series, because what are you doing? I start a lot of them, and then I feel bad for starting more, but I never finish any. Children of God. Oh yes, we're starting strong this year. This is the second book after The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell, which I've raved about that book a lot. It is one of my favorite First Contact with Aliens, and it's pretty dark. Definitely look up some trigger warnings, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to pick up the second one because I thought the first one stood on its own pretty well, but a lot of you told me that it was worth it, and a lot of you wanted me to read it to let you know if it was worth it, so this is it. I'm sacrificing myself. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do, what she's going to do, the author, with this one, but I'm hopeful now. So definitely one that I'm looking forward to reading this month. Also, Exit Strategy, which is the third book in the Murderbot series. I've read the first 2, or is it the fourth one? Oh my gosh. Yes, this is the fourth one in the Murderbot Diaries series, which is a fun, really short book sci-fi series, adult sci-fi. And they're kind of funny, especially the first one so far has been my favorite in the series. You're following Murderbot, which is kind of robot. They're a robot, I guess, and they don't really love humans, and I don't know, so far it's been entertaining. All the books are fairly short, and I believe it is book 5 that is part of my Goodreads reading challenge also. It's a bit bigger also, it's like 300 pages instead of being 100. So I need to continue. I've been meaning to for a while, so definitely picking that one up. I have a few like modern classics, I guess, that I've had on my library waiting list for a long time as audiobooks that I'm finally getting my hands on because the waiting list was ridiculously long. So let me know what you know about them and if I should prepare myself mentally, because I feel like I know these names, but I don't know anything about the books per se, which again, we're seeing a pattern, but I'm not in the mood right now to like know what I'm getting into. I just want mystery and just hope for the best. So I have Flowers in the Attic, which I feel like I've heard that name a ton, and I feel like it's kind of dark, but that's all I know. But if you have an opinion, spoiler free, feel free to leave it in the comment section. I think that one I need to prepare myself mentally, but that's the one. I might also have time to get around to listening to We Have Always Lived in the Castle, which again, I feel like I've seen it everywhere. I wanted to get around to reading it during the fall, you know, fall vibes, but didn't have time. So yes, these two are books that I don't know much about, but I feel like I've heard the names a lot, and at this point I just want to know, what are they about? The last 2 books are books that I've mentioned in past TBR that I want to finally get around to reading if I have time, but you know, it's okay. I feel like I'm feeling perfectly okay with moving books from TBR to TBR. I know some people feel guilty. I don't. I know some of you make fun of me for some of these books, and it's fine. Eventually I get around to reading them, and we all get very excited. The first one is this one, which is City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett. I know, I've been meaning to read that one forever. I have all 3 books of this series on my shelf. It will happen eventually. I've only read Foundry Side by him, and it was a little bit disappointing, but I'm still hoping to get to book 2, but this one, maybe. And then to give myself something quick and easy if I'm in the mood for something a little lighter, I have Wind Witch by Susan Dennard, which is a YA fantasy about witches, which I need more witches in my life. And it is the second book in this series. I believe 4 books are out at this point. I have book 3 on my shelf. Like, Emily, come on, just do it. So, will happen this year and hopefully in January. Oh yeah, of course it had to eventually, huh? A lot of you asked me why her face is hidden with the aluminum hat. That's the reason. My camera just loves Snow Globe Emily more than me. So 9 books is a fairly reasonable TBR. I feel like some months I'll read 5 books, some months I'll read like 15, so who knows? But yes, this is it so far. And I am planning on doing a reading vlog on Patreon. You voted for a chill one with squirrels, so I do have peanuts whenever they show up in my yard. I will feed them and show you and update you in my reading for the month. So this is going to be it for my TBR. Please let me know in the comment section if you are planning on reading any of these, if you have, what you think of them, spoiler free, and let me know which books you want to read for the first month of the year, because I want to know. We can just motivate each other. So that's going to be it. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in my next video, which should be my stats video of 2020, so we can look back on all my reading challenges, how I did, and we can see all the pile of books that I have read in 2020, because one of my goals, I don't think I even announced it really, was to try and read my height. And I didn't read as much as I usually do, but I think I might still have made it. We'll see. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.